Hi, I'm Mo, and I have a collection of snakeskin jackets.
And I'm TJ, the host that's mild at heart and not very weird on top. I'm pretty boring.
Yeah. And this is...
It's still new to us, damn it!
Welcome to A Student of Us, damn it. I'm Mo, he's TJ, as he just said, and we're here to watch every movie ever made to be interesting at parties.
That's right, that's all. That's the only reason to have a podcast as far as I'm concerned.
That's true, yes. I mean, we could get rich and famous off this, who knows, but...
We could.
Yes. That way we can be invited to parties.
Yeah.
And talk to people.
Maybe some girls.
Maybe some girls.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, welcome to another episode of this. I guess we're getting right into it because we had a little bit of a time crunch. Today's movie is David Lynch's Wild at Heart.
That's right, from 1990.
Yes. Released in 1990, as you just said, written and directed by David Lynch, so he's an auteur.
An auteur.
Auteur.
That's right.
Yes. Starring Nicolas Cage from Leaving Las Vegas, and The Wicker Man, Laura Dern of Jurassic Park, and Dr. T and the Women, a very weird Robert Altman film from 2000. Willem Dafoe, Platoon, Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Nice.
Yeah. And stay away from the sweet potatoes, TJ.
Why is that?
You get whacked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good, thanks for the heads up.
You don't remember in Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what he was reaching for.
Yeah,
sweet
so
potatoes.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like, stay away. It's like,
That's classic. Now he's sharpening the knife.
yeah.
Yeah,
Crispin Glover, Back to the Future, and Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
that's right.
Yes. Diane Ladd, who is the mother of Laura Dern, the actual mother. Alice doesn't live here anymore, and Connoisseur, the ripoff of Jurassic Park.
Wow.
I think it came out probably 2 months after or something.
So, wait, so they had her mom play in a ripoff Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's amazing. Yeah. Isabella Rossellini, Blue Velvet, and Tough Guys Don't Dance, and Harry Dean Stanton, Paris, Texas, and the Care Bears movie where he sang.
Of all the works of Harry Dean Stanton, I'm sure that's the one he's most fond.
Definitely.
He was most fond of.
Definitely. He's been in 100 movies.
Yeah.
Major ones, and he's like, I was in the Care Bears movie. That's the one I'm most proud of.
Introduces himself like that.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton of the Care Bears movie.
Exactly. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so let's continue on. TJ, what the fuck's this film about?
All right. Well, Wild at Heart is about young lovers Lula and Sailor who hit the road for a cross-country trek through the American Badlands to sunny California. The reason, to escape the clutches of Lula's overprotective mother, Marietta, who hates Sailor and believes he may have witnessed Marietta's assassination of Lula's father. Spoiler alert for this movie, by the way. During their journey, which is in violation of Sailor's parole, the two come across a colorful cast of all too real degenerates, including Santos, the man responsible for the death of Lula's father, and Bobby Peru, a former U.S. Marine who ekes out a living outside the law. When Lula confesses to Sailor that she's pregnant, he's thrilled, but she's a bit apprehensive. Bobby discovers this information and uses it to coerce Sailor into joining him on a bank robbery. This robbery is, of course, foiled by the police. Bobby is subsequently shot to death by the cop on the scene. Sailor is sent back to jail for a parole violation, and Lula gives birth to their son. Upon his release from prison 6 years later, Sailor reconnects with his new family, and he even finally sings Love Me Tender to an awaiting Lula, which is a song that he promised only to sing to his wife. In the end, some hilarity ensues.
Yes.
Fair to say some?
I'd say, yeah, it's fair. Okay. Some of it's crazy. Oh, by the way, we don't remember the son's name, so we're going to call him Race Car. That's
Race
it.
Car works.
That's his name. His name's Race Car. That's probably what his name. We don't know.
Might as well have been.
Might as well have been. Race Car. Okay, so TJ, you chose this film as one of the David Lynch films. Why'd you choose Wild at Heart?
Well, mostly because I hadn't seen it before, but I've heard that it's very Lynchian, and it came out around the time that Twin Peaks was big, right? Or at least starting.
I think Twin Peaks came out also in 1990.
Okay.
So this came out maybe after the first season, possibly.
So I thought, that would be interesting to see, if it had those Twin Peaks type of moments in it.
And it does, actually.
Oh, God, it does. And
yes.
quite a lot of it, I felt.
Of course, I think all of David Lynch's work has the Twin Peaks kind of...
True, but this one's dripping with it.
Yeah.
Because this is, it's that moment in time for him. He really stretched himself thin that year.
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
he did this.
Hard at work.
There's actually some background on this of why he did this movie. We'll get to that a little bit later. He stretched thin with this movie, definitely.
Yeah. And by the way, rest in peace to Angelo Badalamenti, who was his longtime composer, did the Twin Peaks theme song. He died a few months ago, I think. A couple of months ago.
I must say, the main thing about this movie was the music. I love the music.
It was great.
It was amazing.
The music was great.
For some reason, I like when heavy metal music play or just go into sweeping strings. It was that was amazing.
Yeah, and music would crop up like out of nowhere sometimes. It would be used for jump scares, kind of randomly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not like a traditional jump scare, but you'd have Lula and Sailor talking, and it would cut really abruptly to Marietta, the mother.
Yeah.
And she's like painting her whole face with lipstick.
Yeah.
And you get this strong orchestral, beat. And it'd wake you up a little bit if you were nodding off.
Yeah.
But no, Angelo Badalamenti's presence in this one is felt very strongly.
Definitely.
I don't believe did he do the music to Dune? I don't think.
I don't know.
I feel like he probably didn't.
We didn't.
But who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But no, I picked this just because I hadn't seen it. It was around that time period. And, well, heck, I hadn't heard too much about it, so I said, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
So this is, I think, one of David Lynch's, like, not most well-known films, definitely. I think, like, if you talk to Dune fans, talk to Lynch fans, they would say probably Dune, maybe his worst movie, and, like, there's maybe a second, I'm guessing, of course, you know. Even though I don't think this movie's that bad, but compared to other Lynch films, as being very high regarded in the media, this is very low to that.
Sure.
Yes. So, unfortunately, this is not streaming anywhere. You have to buy it. I bought this Blu-ray on a Shout Factory.
Nice.
And thank you, Shout Factory, for keeping it alive.
Dude, Shout Factory's the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put together some really good box sets that, like they did like the Halloween box set, not to go into a tangent. But that's a tricky one because so many different companies produced each of those movies.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find them in one set. So yes, thank you, Shout Factory.
So thank you, Shout Factory. Thank you.
And also, while we're on a tangent, really quick, I looked up who did the music for Dune. It was Toto.
Oh, yes, we talked about that. Yes, it was Toto.
How did we forget that?
How did we forget Toto did the music? We totally forgot about that. Dang.
Yeah, hold the line.
I don't know. So, yeah, so this film is very Lynchian. It's very weird things happen, and it's not really a straight story, even though I think this one is a straight story, but, it's very out there in a way. But it tells a different story within the story,
Yeah.
Like how Blue Velvet's actually about the dark side of American lifestyle. And everything like that.
Yeah.
The weirdness of it, yes. And this story definitely has that also.
This touches on it.
It touches on it, I'm sure, yes. But that's what gives it this charm, I think. Yes. Even though I think some people had a problem with it, like some critics, like we'll get into. I guess we'll get into what Roger Ebert thought of this. I don't think Roger Ebert is a fan of David Lynch films. I don't. He's more of a story guy. I don't think he likes the violence. In fact, he said he doesn't like the violence at all. He doesn't like just the weirdness of it all. Yeah, so I understand it, but I like that because I feel like it has some kind of charm to it. I don't know what kind of charm, but it definitely has that.
It reminds me of Tarantino, where except Tarantino movies are very story driven, but like this one, just with regards to like how when the violence is there, it's so hyper violent, and so funny because of it.
Yes, but that thing is like we look through all these directors we watch, and some of the great ones, they do use violence as like a means. They use hyper violence exactly. All of them we watch, like some sort of violence in there, some sort of like you can actually see it. So I think that's a staple of saying like you're gonna have to go like balls out like sometimes to show the realness of it. So
it's his style too, for sure. I haven't seen Blue Velvet. Thanks for reminding me that you you were the reason I couldn't put that on my list. But yeah, a big part of this movie I thought was exploring the dark sides of America. Yeah. Because as characteristic as these characters seem, I guarantee there's tons of people out there like this. Yeah. Like a Bobby Peru, Willem Dafoe's character.
Well, so David Lynch, he talked a lot on set about Elvis and Marilyn Monroe. And you can definitely see that in Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. I mean, Laura Dern's the blonde bombshell, and Nick Cage is the dangerous wild man who like people say Elvis is, especially like snakeskin boots and snakeskin jacket instead of boots,
which was badass.
It was badass, yes, definitely.
By the way, I didn't note in my synopsis, but he was in prison in the beginning for manslaughter. Yeah, he killed an assassin that Marietta.
Yeah, that's how I can tell this movie is going to be great.
Like, that opening scene was awesome.
Amazing. He walked in and it's like, hey. He paid me to kill you, and it's like just
that was
the shit out of the guy. That was great.
My first notes, aside from rest in peace, Angelo Badalamenti, were LMFAO Jesus Christ at the opening. Yeah, it was so just violent and funny.
It was so great. I do love like after he got arrested, he went to a place called PD Correctional Facility. Yeah, I have no idea if that means anything, if that's a real thing. But
Police Department was the only thing I could think of. But yeah, PEEDEE.
Yeah, that was great. So this like all the hallmarks of Lynch films, weird transitions, weird scenes of this random characters doing random things, such as like the mother painting her face red, and also crystal ball transitions for some reason.
I can tell you why they did that.
Why?
The Wizard of Oz motif.
Oh yes.
This whole movie is chock filled with Wizard of Oz motifs.
Yeah.
Um,
He did that because he, so when he first got the script for this movie, he didn't like the ending. He thought it was too dark. Because in the original ending, it was going to be, they just split up.
okay.
Yeah, but he said, no, I'm not going to do it. It's too dark. So he thought, add the Wizard of Oz, because Lula is a rebel, but he said it's beautiful that she dreams of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he did it.
Yeah, she's constantly seeing her mother as the Wicked Witch, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then at the end, Sailor sees the Good Witch
Yeah,
come down.
played by Laura Palmer herself.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, there
Yeah.
were definitely some Twin Peaks people here.
Yeah, of course he does work with a lot of the same people.
Right.
It was very weird he doesn't work with Nick Cage again. Or like,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of major stars. Like I know he looks at Kyle MacLachlan because like
Uh-huh.
definitely major contributors. But I think
Bob Nance was in this. Did you catch him?
Nance was he
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead? No. Oh yeah. Was he the guy who was he the rocket scientist?
I don't know if he was that weird guy that kept talking about his dog when they were in Big Tuna, Texas.
Yeah, I think that was the rocket scientist.
Yeah, the
He was-
old,
yeah, the
crusty looking guy.
yeah.
Just or Jack Nance. I'm sorry, I
Jack
called him
Nance.
Bob Nance, but his name was Double O Spool. There's a lot of characters that just come and go
Yeah.
from this, which again, it is a road picture at its heart. So
Yeah,
it makes
but that's
sense.
the thing about David Lynch films. They're all weird, but in a very charming way, I would say.
Well, yeah, there's like all these characters like Mr. Reindeer, who you think is going to be this huge antagonist, and he kind of is in league with Marietta and Santos.
Yeah.
Mr. Reindeer's the guy that's constantly around topless women. Like he's like a boss of some
yeah,
sort.
Mr.
He's on the
Reindeer.
toilet at one point,
Yeah.
talking on the phone to Marietta, and there's a stripper dancing in front of him.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, I would say one of the faults of the film. There's a lot of characters introduced, but I think they're for the reason of just being weird to show like the weirdness of like suburbia, the dark side of the American history or society.
Well, in that case, someone in a position of power, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. But
possible.
they don't really do a lot of things. Like for instance, like the main bad guy, Mr. What's his name? Santos himself.
Yes.
He doesn't get a comeuppance in the end. We don't
I
see
know.
him.
I was going to bring that. By the way, do you know who played him? Did you recognize that?
No, I
actor?
did not.
We've seen him in a previous movie that you watched on this. He
Yeah.
was the Eddie the Dane in Miller's Crossing.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was cool. He's a good actor. J.E. Freeman's his
J.
name.
Freeman, yes.
And he was good in this. Yeah, I thought that was odd though too. And
Yeah.
the whole side plot featuring Harry Dean Stanton of the Care Bears movie
Yeah.
as Johnny Farragut, who's like the boyfriend, I guess, of Marietta, even though she kind of gives the Dane Santos permission to kill Johnny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but then she's like, no, don't do it. But like, your silence means yes.
And it happens. Yeah.
But I guess Santos was going to kill him anyway, even if she said no, like right away.
Yeah, he seemed like an unhinged type of guy.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the point. We're not really supposed to, sometimes people don't get their comeuppance, and maybe that's it. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Who knows? There are a lot of weird characters. Cousin Del, played by Crispin
Oh,
Glover.
Cousin Del was great.
Cousin Del was great, and I think I spent too much time trying to figure out what he was supposed to represent or something.
So his thing was like he was obsessed with Santa Claus, right?
Correct.
He thought that Santa Claus was going to come.
Well, he was at least just obsessed with Christmas, but
Yeah.
he dressed like Santa year round.
Yeah,
at
year
first.
round.
And
And then he just disappeared, and then we never saw him again.
yeah, so I don't know, I was trying to think of like what some of these characters could symbolize. Maybe I'm thinking too hard into a goofy David Lynch picture rather.
Yeah.
But like this whole movie is dripping with sex, right? This
Yeah.
movie's so much about sex, I think.
Yeah,
and
it's
love,
about
and love for
it's
sure.
about wildness, wild at heart,
Correct.
sex, wildness. Like it's definitely a road trip movie, and road trip movies have danger and like intrigue to it, and
Right.
this definitely has that.
Yeah, I was almost thinking maybe it'd be like a Fury Road type of thing where it's just kind of action.
Yeah, it'd be like you never seen this, but Death Race 2000. It's about Ron Howard is like first directed film. It's kind of like the same plot as this actually, which is weird. It's about a couple who the mother does not want them to marry each other, so then they set off on a road trip, and she calls in like a bunch of people to try to stop them as a crass reward.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that in a way.
Sure,
Definitely. So you
sure.
expect like multiple people will try to stop him, but of course it doesn't. This happens that one person tries to stop him, and they catch up to him. And the assassins, another great part of this film.
Yes.
Like the one kidnaps Jerry Dean Stanton,
Yes.
and turns out. I feel like Isabella Rossellini was kind of wasted in this film. I know they were married. That's why she was in the film. But I felt like you could put any actress in that part because like she didn't really do much. I mean, The only connection we have is that she's like I guess the daughter of the like one of the female assassins, the one who screams "I heard these the whole time."
Yeah, the one with the cane.
The one with the cane. Yeah.
I think you're right. Well,
Yeah.
I
Also, one of the henchmen of the assassins is one of I think the brother of the person who owns the lodge in Twin Peaks.
Oh,
He's the one that introduces the French sandwiches that are just butter and honey.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Yeah.
Oh, good eye.
Yeah.
And then, am I crazy? Harry Dean Stanton was in Twin Peaks as well, right?
I think so.
Let's see.
Harry Dean has been in so much though.
He
Like
has. I always think of him from Alien and
Alien.
and
Yeah,
Bears,
it's like
obviously.
Care Bears, of course. And also he's the lead in Paris, Texas. One of the I believe cult like not cult classics, but one of the great films of American cinema.
Yeah, he was in Twin Peaks. I thought so. He was,
Yeah. Twin Peaks, like Harry Dean Stanton, one of the great character actors of our generation.
Oh, for sure.
Not our generation, of just like all time, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The character actor is wildly underrated sometimes, but they are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do anything.
Yeah, I just watched him in Private Benjamin also, so that's
What'd you watch?
Private Benjamin, and he was the army.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
did that too. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like we can't really talk about this in like plot wise, just like go be story by story.
No, that's
There's
fine.
so much, but it's also just so great. So so let's get into why this film's not really that well regarded inside the Lynch filmography.
Sure.
So when this first came out in Cannes, I think in 1989, I don't know if it premiered in 1990 Cannes or not, it was booed. It was
Wow.
booed, it was hissed at, people walked out.
Wow.
Of course, so was Taxi Driver. But I'm not saying this is the same thing as Taxi Driver, of course.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it was not treated wellly.
Huh.
It was screened badly. A lot of people didn't like it. And it came out and it didn't do that well. Of course, I said only 14.6 million. So, yeah, that's the box office for it. Ebert gave it 2.5 stars. Which is weird because I've
Better than I would have guessed, honestly.
I read the whole review. It sounded like he hated it. It sounded like
Yeah.
it was a 1 star that was reading it. Yeah. So let's read some quotes from it right now. Quote: "There is something inside of me that resists the films of David Lynch, like I said before. I'm aware of it. I admit to it, but I cannot think of my way around it. I sit around, watch his films, and I'm aware of his energy, his visual flair, his facets of wit. But as the movie rolls along, something grows inside of me, and indignation, and unwillingness, and resistance. At the end of both Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart, I was angry, as if a clever conman had tried to put one over on me."
Wow.
Yeah.
And he still gave it 2.5.
Okay, two
eh?
stars. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, I did not think this quote. I did not think. Oh, end quote on that. I did not think this movie this is the best film that played at Cannes this year. Wait until you see Depardieu in Cyrano. And in fact, I don't even think it is a very good film. There is something repulsive and manipulative about it. And even if its best scenes have flavor of a kid in a schoolyard trying to show you pictures you don't feel like looking at. The movie is a lurid melodrama, soap opera, exploitation, put on, and self-satire. It deals in several scenes of practically offensive violence and tries to excuse them by doing no humor. It was all a joke, you see, and so if violence offends you, you didn't get the joke. And I also said, well, violence in itself doesn't offend me, but Wild at Heart doesn't have the nerve to just be violent. It also builds in excuses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, interesting.
Yeah. He also goes in as saying, it also offends women, treats women as jokes, sophomore humor, things like that.
I didn't catch the making fun of women thing.
Yeah, me neither.
But
I
I'm
didn't see
also
that
a
at all.
raging misogynist, so that
That's
could be
also
it.
true.
That's a joke.
I found out
people.
I'm a male manipulator because I listened to Morrissey and the Smiths. So yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it-
So we're
yeah.
male manipulators, TJ.
And incels, too.
Yeah, yes, true.
No, that's all a joke. Don't take that seriously.
Yes.
At least he's honest about his anti-David Lynch slant.
Yeah, because I guess like from reading other podcasts or listening to other podcasts, Ebert's a big story guy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like violence, so goes into maybe why he doesn't like slasher films that much. Besides like maybe Halloween and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for him it has to be something fresh. He didn't like the knockoffs of
Yeah.
Halloween.
So he's basically saying it's just violent for violence sake. It doesn't really add anything to the
Yeah,
film. Which
I
I
get what
kind of
you're-
agree to that, but it kind of adds to, I don't know, he was shocked that. Maybe that's why I like the shock value. Because I like the violence. The violence it's fun. And maybe that's why the David Lynch just did it for
It's
fun.
funny as hell to
It's
me.
funny
when
as
when
hell.
It just catches you so off guard.
Yeah.
You know, at least it did for me, especially at the end, and we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one to talk about in terms of plot because that is the plot. What I read, they're on a cross country
Yeah, cross-country trip.
parole violating road trip.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird scenes in it. You know, you meet a lot of weird people, like the rocket scientist man. You meet Bob, who's also weird. You meet for some reason, I don't know why he added this. He added the car crash scene where he just meets a woman on the side of the road who's about to die,
bleeding out.
Maybe it's to show him that he's not a bad guy, because he tried to help him, but she just died, and then he's like, we just need to go.
Yeah, it seems like that was supposed to be some kind of deep representation of something, and again, maybe I'm thinking too far into it.
Yeah.
More than David Lynch would expect me to, or want anyone to. But I never got the sense that Sailor was a bad guy. He's not. All he wants is to be with his lady.
like Harry Dean Stanton said, like he's trying to defend him.
Yeah.
Because like he was about to kill him. And of course he doesn't know that the mother put him up to it. Put up the guy who was going to murder him.
Right. Yeah, the Care Bears movie star Harry Dean Stanton was probably one of the most likable characters in this movie, aside from the lead two, because you can't really dislike them.
Yeah.
At least I didn't think you could. The people that I dislike the most are obviously the ones that they meet on the road.
Yeah.
And Marietta, who I think Marietta, and I know I get into symbolism all the time, but I think Marietta is supposed to symbolize menopause or something, or over-the-hill insecurity. I mean, the face painted red.
Yeah.
Seems like a sign.
Especially when she just goes along with Santos. It's like, you didn't kill Johnny, did you? It's like, no, we didn't kill Johnny. It's like, oh,
yeah,
thank God. And it's just like,
yeah. And I don't know if it's I don't think it's necessarily anti-women, but like both Marietta and Lula are shown as, are they shown as being submissive? I mean, Marietta is submissive to Santos.
Yeah.
Lula has this horrible history where she was
raped by her uncle.
And raped by her uncle as a child. And then later when Bobby Peru, Willem Dafoe's character, is in her apartment room, it's one of the most uncomfortable things I've watched, especially with, not just the subject matter, but Willem Dafoe's little baked bean teeth. Yeah. Which were fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that was...
Oh my God, this whole movie is this grimy
it's like,
teeth. In
this. He made the perfect, like, sleazy bad guy.
Yeah. But he's feeling up on her and like, very much like in between her... And like even the only tick against Nick Cage's character, Sailor, is those flashbacks where he's... And I guess the girl was into it, but he's like... They show him explicitly putting his hand in, like, right on her genitals. Yeah. It's very bizarre. Mm-hmm. But again, I guess if that's consensual, it is what it is. But the scene with Lula being... backed into a corner by Bobby Peru was one of the most disturbing things I've seen in recently in a film, and I get why it had to happen because Bobby Peru had to find out that she was pregnant, so he could use that as a reason to get Sailor on his side. But that was hard to watch. Mm.
Definitely.
Do you think that this movie made victims out of its women? Or submissive victims out of their...
I don't know. So I'm trying to see, like, what does the mother and Lula... Oh, who's Mildred, right? That's her name?
Marietta.
Mm-hmm. So Marietta, she's... I don't know. I'm guessing she's like a housewife. She lived in the suburbs and stuff like that. And she's used to certain things a certain way. And, she's just she just wants to live life with no problems at all. So anything to do to get rid of problems, she will.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And I still see her as the over the top or over the hill mad about it because it's at first, it's interesting. They do actually, the one part of the plot, quote unquote, that I did find interesting is that they slowly unfold kind of, at least throughout the first half, they slowly unfold why she wants Sailor out of the picture. At first you think it's because they show a flashback of Sailor spurning her advances. Yeah. In like the men's room or whatever. And so, that could be a cause of some hatred. But then it turns out that Sailor was parked outside of their house the night that their father was lit on fire.
Yeah, and Mariette and Santos were probably together and killed him.
Right.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, there's no even like evidence that Sailor actually knew what they did. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He was just parked there.
Yeah.
Well, wrong place, wrong time, I guess.
Exactly.
Let's see. I'm just looking at my notes. What did you think of the Wizard of Oz motif? And before you answer, I'm gonna just read my notes here. Okay. There is this recurring Wizard of Oz motif, and I'm wondering, is California supposed to be the land of Oz? That's what I was wondering. Although, did they...
Well, going down the yellow brick road, and they were going down a road that had yellow lines on it, I'm guessing.
True, yes, they did mention that. But then there's also Marietta being shown as the Wicked Witch, the Good Witch at the end. Lula, at one point after the uncomfortable scene with Willem Dafoe, has red heels on, and she taps them together 3 times. And then there's a couple mentions of a rainbow or over the rainbow, and then the crystal ball scenes.
Yeah.
I didn't see this as anything that concluded itself or anything that made sense to be there.
Yeah, well, like I said before, I think the reason I think he did it was to just it's beautiful. He thinks it's beautiful to have these motifs in there to show, like, I don't know, maybe she's more innocent than we think she is. Like, she's supposed to be this, like, wild Hellcat, like Marilyn Monroe type, but really she just wants to go home or have a home that she can go to. And I guess her home is with Sailor, but she has so many things going against her that,
Sure.
I guess the hitman are the flying monkeys or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I
then
guess so.
Santos is, I guess the mother's the Wicked Witch. Santos is probably the man behind the curtain, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of who would have been the man behind the curtain, but
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, it's kind of like a twisted version on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
What would you say the main thesis or point of this movie is?
It's the main theme of this movie, he said, is finding love in hell.
That's a great... Okay, so that's straight from David Lynch.
Yeah, that's straight from David Lynch. Finding love in hell. He says, for me, it is a compilation of ideas that come along. The darker ones, the lighter ones, the humorous ones, all working together. You try to be true as you can to those ideas and try to get on the film. Yes, to the Wizard of Oz, he says, he says, The Wizard of Oz has been interpreted and directed all of the fantasy world of this movie, with Sailor's obsession with fantasies of Elvis and the couple's fantastical relationship, also to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess the point that I took from it was no matter what era in American history, there will always be greed, manipulation, mental illness, depravity. No matter how we try to sanitize our worldview.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what I saw from it. I mean, not that this probably sounded so goddamn pretentious, and I apologize for that.
It's fine.
But that's the characters that they come across are fucking gross. I couldn't imagine sitting and not just in appearance, just in behavior too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's the rich ones or the poor ones they meet in podunk towns in Texas. I could never watch this movie while eating popcorn, and I couldn't imagine watching it in a movie theater like that. It's not a popcorn.
I tried to watch it with the lights on, and I from my eyes, and I turned it off, and it was like way better.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
To me, it all gets perfectly characterized in Willem Dafoe's smile and his teeth.
Yeah.
Fucking gross.
Just the dirtiness of it all.
And the fact that, and again, it's kind of a duality of man in itself. He was a U.S. Marine. And historically, how do we picture the Marines?
Heroes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't really a period piece so much, right? Is it?
No, this is set now. But of course, David Lynch's style is 1950 quiche. So it's going to have those similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wants to put on American nostalgia and all that stuff to show what's really going on. Like the 1950s made look all cheery and chipper, but actually it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds about right to me.
Yes, let's see. Siskel, I didn't mention him also, did not like the film. Yeah, he said the demise of it was trying to be offbeat. The film is magical when it's just done in Cage in the film, which I do admit to that, one of some of the best films. For a sponsored film. Sport players are kinky and ambitious and fun, but the other stuff is maring it down, such as the violent rape and disgusting stuff, such as when she pukes, and also Willem Dafoe's teeth and everything.
The puke, and they don't clean it.
They don't clean it up, no.
And see, my mind goes to what is that supposed to mean? What does it mean if they don't clean this? But does it even mean anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're living in filth, maybe, or
who knows?
It doesn't matter.
It can be, and maybe that's the beauty of it, is it can be whatever you want it to be. But that was so gross.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's one there, and then I knew, okay, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
No question.
Definitely.
What'd you think of the robbery scene?
Robbery scene was great.
That was the best scene of
the
movie.
That was the best scene.
In my opinion.
So much violence and everything. That's the thing, though. That maybe was sick fucks. And we just like the violence so much. And it's just like, yeah.
Well, again, I mean, it's all about how it's used. For violence sake, which maybe this movie is guilty of a little bit. I don't know. It's fun to see something that you've never seen before. I've never seen a bank teller's hand get shot clear off and then carried out by a dog later while the other two bank tellers who are bloody and shot are on the ground thinking, oh, where'd you find it? We'll get it. And they can sew it on. It'll be just like new. I've never seen the way Bobby Peru goes out.
Yeah,
he's just great.
He gets shot by the police officer like 5 times, and then he just takes his own life by shooting his head off. And his head doesn't like explode; it just bounces off into the air like full still in contact.
And it comes down on the ground too. Now, did he mean to shoot himself in the head? Or
I guess so. I guess he was just like, "I'm gonna die now, so might as well go out my own way."
I only watched it once, the scene, and I should have rewound it because I almost thought it was some freak accident where he like tripped on the gun or something. But
no, I think I saw him put the gun in his mouth. And
okay, I didn't even notice that. But watching it, I audibly said, "Holy shit!" It was so fucking funny, and as a character, deserved to go out that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was just also to show the absurdity of America. You know, like we're this clean cut nature, but really we're just insane maniacs.
That's the nature. I mean, that's a good point. That's the facade that we put up, is that we are clean cut, and at least back then, that's the facade we put up. Now I think we're a little more transparent, and I think you're onto something there, though.
Definitely,
good call.
Thank you. Let's see. We talked about the music. Let's talk about the characters, the acting in this film.
Sure.
I think Laura Dern should have been nominated for an Oscar for this film. I think it's insane she was not. Only one Oscar nomination for this film. It was as Best Supporting Actress, Diane Ladd, which also she deserved. She was amazing in this film also. She was both nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress and an Oscar, but lost to both by Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Others nominated that year for Academy Award: Annette Bening for The Grifters, which is a movie I've seen once, which is actually really good.
Nice.
Lorraine Bacco, Bracco, for Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Mary McDonald for Dances with Wolves. That was the Oscar. Golden Globes, Whoopi Goldberg won again. Shirley MacLaine for Postcards from the Edge. Mary McDonald for Dances with Wolves. And Winona Ryder for Mermaids.
Okay.
Yeah, but Laura Dern was fantastic in this film. She was amazing.
She was.
Yes.
She was the best part of it, I thought.
Yeah.
Definitely. She and Nicolas Cage were both great. This is one of the great Nicolas Cage performances.
Even though this is just, I would say, Nicolas Cage acting like Nicolas Cage, but this is like the perfect setting for him to be Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it fits. It's not The Wicker Man.
No.
Yeah. No, I thought the acting across the board was actually very good in this movie.
Definitely. I can see why David Lynch loves working with Laura Dern so much. She was just fantastic. I saw in Citizen Booth, a movie about this girl who's pregnant but wants to get an abortion, but the anti-abortion people don't want to get an abortion, so there's this huge thing going on. And she's a terrible person in that movie.
Nice.
This terrible person. And she acts so well in it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I can see why. I remember there's this one clip on YouTube you can find. Laura Dern's nominated for something, like an Academy Award, and she tries to promote her to get the Academy Award. She has this like old presentation, like a giant screen and like a bullhorn that says "Vote Laura Dern for Best Academy for Best Actress."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was terrific across the board.
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about anybody.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe, perfect sleazeball.
He was perfectly cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this had to be before he was a star.
Well, no, it was
1990.
1990. He did Mississippi Burning in 1988. He did Platoon 1986.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
That's true.
I always forget about Mississippi Burning.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a somewhat star. I mean, I want to say people know his name immediately because he was probably this like in Platoon. He probably was a major role, but Charlie Sheen was like the major star of that film, and Mississippi Burning was a good film, but I don't know. I don't think he was just like an A-list yet.
No, Hackman was definitely the A-list in that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but in Speed 2 Cruise Control, he was the star.
Nice. Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Yeah. Isabella Rossellini, though, as I said before, is kind of wasted in this film.
Very much so.
She's just like, I'm just going to show up in a blonde wig. And
Did you see that she got her own movie, though, that character?
No. Wait, that character got her own movie?
Perdita Durango is the name of the character and the name of the movie. Get this. So it came out in 1997.
Yeah.
Stars Rosie Perez as Perdita Durango. And it co-stars Javier Bardem.
Wow.
It is a co-production between Spain, the U.S., and Mexico.
So David Lynch has no say in it, right?
No. It's just based... Because remember, this is based on a book.
Yes, of course.
That character appeared in another book by Barry Gifford, I think his name is.
Yeah, Barry Gifford.
Yeah.
This guy who wrote it.
Yeah, so it's just I thought that was interesting. That's really the only...
Do you feel like Nick Cage's character was just like, just speaking in rhymes the whole time? he was just speaking in like riddles and stuff. Because a lot of times he's just like just says catchphrases and you're just like,
Yeah,
what's he saying?
Yeah, I guess he kind of was.
Yeah, because I guess that's what Elvis was doing. You know, he would just say things all the time.
And he was clearly Elvis inspired.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But he seemed like a cool cat.
Yeah, definitely. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he had to get troubled up and all that stuff, and then, finally find love.
He was a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's made clear that he's not, he doesn't have a whole lot of options in life, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least in terms of
he doesn't know his
making
parents.
money.
His mother died or abandoned him, and his father just left.
Yeah, they have that great conversation as they're smoking cigarettes. Yeah, both my parents died when I was, of cigarette-related diseases. And
and
I
alcohol.
started smoking at 4. And yeah.
That's the magic he was talking about. Cisco was talking about, definitely. I love the scene where she's driving and she keeps on hearing bad news on the radio, and she just stops the car and is like, "I gotta stop! I gotta get out of this car.
Find some fucking music.
And then heavy metal music plays and they just go crazy.
Start dancing.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage does that flip out of the car. Did you notice
No,
that?
I
He
didn't
does
see
a flip out of it. It's
Oh,
awesome.
my God.
Yeah, go back and check that scene out. He does this great flip.
Yeah. I kind of can see, like, every time we talk about it, I can see what Ebert and Cisco are talking about. This sensational violence and weirdness, but it's just so cool that we just can't deny it,
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool scenes and cool ideas in this movie.
Yeah.
Interesting motif I identified. And I'm sure it means nothing. It's just a style thing maybe. But did it seem to you that there were a lot of people that were injured? There was the one lady that had the cane that was always screaming. There was another person that had a cane at one point. And then there's randomly like a hotel clerk or someone in a suit on crutches.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's just
I
like,
know that. You see a bunch of people injured or old people. Yeah.
Is just some weird David Lynch thing or...
I guess so. I don't know, like, that's the mind of David Lynch, though. You get to guess, like, what these things are, and maybe that's what makes the films more interesting.
Right, but is it possible he's just fucking with people?
That could be it, too.
Yeah. It's possible.
Definitely. Because I remember he had a TV show also with Twin Peaks. He had 2 of them. Mm-hmm. I forgot what it was called, but it was supposed to be a comedy. It's a half-hour comedy about, like, a radio station in the 1940s, and how, like a newcomer comes and makes the star jealous. It's really weird. There are these 2 characters that can't see right. They can only see... One sees far, one sees close. Mm-hmm. And they're like adjoined twins.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I think he just does it because he thinks it's funny, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, I admire a dark sense of humor, or at least an offbeat sense of humor.
Yeah.
And it's clear that he has one. Let's see. That about wraps up the notes I have here.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into final thoughts?
I could do that. I do have... I have some notes from me. I wrote... Oh, yeah. Do you remember the baby in the background in the beginning? There was a baby in the background when Lula and the mother were arguing. It was this random baby in the background.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
No.
So that's kind of foreshadowing the pregnancy a little bit.
I suppose
I've never seen that, and it was just like... It wasn't like a regular baby. It was just like a... ever seen that like 3D model of a baby? In like Adam and Joe stuff? It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Music reminded me of Twin Peaks, of course.
Yeah.
This is the slow 1950s style, and also the strings. How much power does Nick Cave have? I feel like he has a lot of power. Like
this point, I feel like
supernatural powers. I feel like he can do like anything.
Dude, he had a movie made about him.
Yeah.
Right? That one movie that came
not
out
just
last year?
like in the movie, like outside the movie, but also in the movie. I think he has some sort of powers.
Yeah. He's a brawler. He's not afraid to fight if he has.
Like when he stopped the band, just gave me the devil horn sign, and then this heavy metal band's like, "Can you play any Elvis?" And he just sings a song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all the girls go wild for him.
Was it Guar? Was that actually Guar?
No, I don't think that's Guar.
Okay,
no,
he's just wearing a Guar t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. The heavy metal music just worked for me, man. It was just insane. It was just like,
yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess he has some kind of power. He's just
Teen Idol Nick Cage. That was like, there was a very brief moment in Hollywood when Nick Cage was a teen idol. He did the movie Valley Girl, and then it goes back to this. So
nice.
Yeah. I thought Santos was ADR'd a little bit. I feel like some scenes you can see his lips moving, but him not saying the right things.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's see, what else? I got... Oh, yeah, Jingo Dale, the cousin. Mm-hmm. Rocket Scientist. And also they said the title. I'm wild at heart.
Yes. Yes, they did. Lula says it. This whole world's wild at heart and weird on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I guess that's it. We can go into our final things, I guess. So, like I said, I've never seen this movie before. Of course, that's the whole basis of the podcast. So, I didn't know what to expect to it. I knew it was going to be David Lynch. I know that. It was going to be wild and crazy stuff, and it was going to be fun. And it was. That's what it delivered on. It was wild and crazy. It was fun. I didn't really feel the emotional attachment to it. And maybe that was the main point of Roger Ebert, of a Siskel Ebert. Like, yes, so they have all these crazy scenes, and it's fun, and it's fine, and it's fun, and it's great, but you don't really feel anything. And I didn't really feel anything that I felt with Blue Velvet or his other films,
Sure.
Maybe because the character was too cool, maybe because he wasn't emotional enough, and things like that. Or the characters weren't emotional enough,
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel that. So that kind of brings it down for me a little bit. Because I say, like, oh, this is a great film, like, it's a fun film, it's great, but it doesn't really hook you emotionally, like some films do.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I would have gave it 2.5 stars if we were rating on out of 4, but I'll give it 3.5 stars.
Okay.
I would say that, yes. The acting's amazing, the violence is fun, and everything. Like, if you expect a David Lynch film, this is a David Lynch film. Yes.
Yeah, it is, unapologetic.
Yes, but on the level of David Lynch films, this is definitely not one of his best. Definitely not. Yeah. So yeah, I would give it 3.5 stars out of 6.
I will echo pretty much everything you said there. I'm going to give it a 2.5 star rating.
Oh, okay.
And it's not that I didn't have fun watching it. I did. But I have to agree with what Siskel or Ebert said, one of them. It's
both of them,
such an
probably.
uneven movie.
Yeah.
It's got some real flashes of greatness, especially the first half, I'd say, when you have Laura Dern and Nick Cage together. They have a great chemistry.
Yeah.
And all the actors are terrific.
Yeah, they told Lynch told them to go to Vegas for a weekend and just talk to each other and try to get to know each other. And they definitely fit the parts well. Let's see if I can get a quote from Laura Dern. We agreed that Sailor and Lula needed to be one person, one character, and we would share each other. I got sexual, wild, Marilyn, gum-chewing fantasy, female side. Nick Cage got the snakeskin Elvis, wild, combustible, masculine side.
It worked.
Yeah.
It definitely worked. No, and they are the highlights of this movie. The music is great. The violence is fun. The style can be fun, too. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to remember much of this movie, I think, in a year.
True.
And I hate to say that because
Yeah.
I liked Twin Peaks a lot. And I liked... I like Mulholland Drive anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't. I'm not like Ebert, where I am just, naturally not disposed to David Lynch's style. To me, it just felt like some style and weirdness for no reason other than to have it.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing per se.
Yeah. So what sets us apart from like Pulp Fiction, which is also just style over story and everything?
I guess the style just appeals to a broader audience, and it appeals to me a little better, I guess.
Yeah, because David Lynch
right.
still has the weird stuff, the women painting their face, the weird assassins who just scream at each other, and then I think at one moment we saw a weird person just pop up and dance.
Maybe it's the pacing too, though. Pulp Fiction does move pretty quick, I'd say, for as long a movie as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, that one's also style over substance, right? Is that right? Okay. I don't know what the difference is because, again, I love a lot of the parts of this movie, but the sum of it just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because I do like David Lynch, and I did enjoy large parts of this movie, but it's just so uneven.
Yeah.
That's the only
not
thing.
like Dune's uneven because we couldn't really understand it. But this one we understand, but it just doesn't really meet my emotional criteria.
Right. And, I'm glad it had the happy ending. I'm glad he added that in.
Yeah.
But again, I won't say it's a bad movie. Maybe 2.5 out of 6 sounds bad, but I typically overrate movies, I find.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to rein myself back in. And you know what? I'll re-adjudicate it should I watch the movie again in the future. But for now, I'm just going to say 2.5 out of 6. Yeah. If you want to see something experimental and you want to see some really great acting, go ahead and watch it. But for me, it didn't impact me as much as I'd hoped. And I can't quite put my finger on why.
Yeah. Same as me. Definitely.
It's weird. It's probably more like a 3 out of 6. I'll just change it to 3 out of 6 because that's fair.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
that's the average.
Yeah, because I'd give it 2 out of 4, I guess.
Yeah.
So fair. We'll say 3 out of 6.
Yeah.
You're welcome, David Lynch. I'm sure you care about
definitely.
I feel about your movie.
What if David Lynch does this into our podcast? It's like, I found this great podcast. It features 2 guys.
That wouldn't be the weirdest thing he's done.
Yeah, it wouldn't. So let's go over some things, background. We already talked about the awards. The Best Picture for the Academy Awards that year was Dances with Wolves 1, Awakenings, Ghosts, Godfather Part 3, and The Goodfellas, which is wild.
How Goodfellas doesn't win our
I don't
ass
know.
on
We gotta watch
IMDb.
Dance with Wolves.
I know.
Dance
I'm
with
sure
Wolves.
it's
I gotta
great.
figure out
I'm sure it's
why
great,
this was.
But I still watch Goodfellas once a year.
Yeah.
Probably, and it's so good.
I don't know. It must have been like just at the time, Kevin Costner was riding high on everything he was doing.
Yeah.
So it was just insane, and he directed it, he started it, and he just won it all. Like because Golden Globes was like exactly the same too. For Best Picture Drama, Dances with Wolves won. Avalon nominated Godfather Part 3, Goodfellas, and Reversal of Fortune. So, yeah. So it just swept the award season. So, but they're still fine insane. I don't know why the Academy Awards do not like Martin Scorsese until just recently, but I don't know. I guess that's the problem with it. Of course, Academy Awards are just nonsense, It's like Grammys.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. The films of 1990, the top 10, according to Box Office Mojo, Ghost, number 1, Pretty Woman, number 2. Tried to actually watch Pretty Woman, could not find it anywhere, so that was weird.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's just like that's a movie that's still on now. Like if you turn on TBS, you can probably find it. So yeah. 3, Home Alone. 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 5, The Hunt for Red October. 6, Total Recall. Amazing,
Nice.
love
that
Total
movie.
Recall. 7, Die Hard 2. Die Harder.
Nice.
8, Driving Miss Daisy. 9, Dick Tracy. And 10 was Back to the Future Part 3.
Do you think they should make a sequel to this called Wild at Heart 2, Wild Hearter?
Yeah, definitely. If we pick up on Race Car, the kid.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That'd be great. What do you think about Back to the Future Part 2 and 3?
Oh, I love them.
Love them?
I love the whole trilogy. They're
I
not
could watch
perfect.
them
I know
again.
that the second and third aren't perfect movies.
I think if I were to watch them, I think I like this third one better than the second one.
You like the third one better than the second one?
Yeah,
that's
like
fair.
1, 3, 2.
That's fair to me.
Yeah.
I would say 1 is like far and away the best.
Yeah.
1's far and away the best. It depends on what mood I'm in, because sometimes I like the Western vibe of the third one, but I also get a kick out of Biff playing
The older him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Yeah. The production of this wasn't really that bad. It wasn't really a lot of like stories of like craziness happening. David Lynch was working on the pilot of Twin Peaks in 1989. He tried to save 2 projects he had before. One was called Ronnie Rocket. One was called One Saliva Bubble. Ronnie Rocket is a film Lynch tried to get off the ground after Eraserhead was successful, but he also found problems trying to get funds for it. This is actually really fun. It's about it deals with a detective seeking to enter a second dimension, aided by his ability to stand on one leg. He's being obstructed on his quest by a strange landscape of odd rooms and a mysterious train, and he's being stalked by the people called the Donut Men, who wield electricity as a weapon. It also deals with a teenager who's a dwarf named Ronald Datard, D''Arte, who suffers a surgical mishap and leaves him dependent on being plugged in to electrical supply at regular intervals. This dependency grants him the ability to use electricity to produce music or cause destruction. And the boy names himself Ronnie Rocket and becomes a rock star, befriending a tap dancer named Electric Cute.
All right.
Yeah. It was supposed to star Michael J. Anderson, the small guy from Twin Peaks who was in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, who speaks backwards. No information on One Saliva, though, unfortunately. But that would have been interesting to see. It would have been his, what was that movie? It was, it starred Jeff Goldblum, Doctor in the Eighth Dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called. Damn. We'll figure that out later. But unfortunately, those fell through because of bankruptcy of Dino De Laurentiis, who helped produce Dune. So Monty Montgomery, a friend of Lynch and the associate producer of Twin Peaks, gave the book Wild at Heart, the story of Sailor Luda, to them, and Lynch loved it. He really loved a modern romance in a violent world and falling in love in hell, and such amount of fear in the picture, as well as things about the dream about it. And he said it seemed truthful in some way. I guess we go with some fun facts. Laura Dern passed out when David Lynch asked her to smoke 4 cigarettes at one time. Yeah. William Dafoe is actually urinating in a toilet when he visits Laura Dern and asks to piss in your head.
Jeez.
Dafoe drunk a bottle of water and really needed to go. Only he found out that the toilet wasn't working.
Oh,
and
nice.
Nicolas Cage does his own singing, so he sang both songs
Nice.
by himself, yes.
Yeah, I kind of figured it sounded like him.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got some good pipes. Good for
So
him.
yeah, so that's mostly it about Wild at Heart. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely. All right, let me pull up the wheel and see what movie we got
And
next.
we'll have two bonus segments for you next time.
Yeah.
Remind the people which 4 movies we still have now.
Okay, so we gotta watch Moonlight, The Elephant Man, United Passion, and that's it. Actually,
Yeah.
that's it. 3
Oh,
movies.
just 3.
Just
We
3
already
movies.
watched 3. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we
Alrighty.
got next. We gotta spin again. We gotta spin again.
Maplethorpe.
Maplethorpe. Oh yeah, baby.
We are going to watch some propaganda.
Yes, United Passion.
Wow, the worst movie of the 2010s according to Vulture.
Yeah.
All right, it should be on
Yes.
HBO.
I guess so. Yeah, it should be on HBO and anything else. So if you guys want to watch it, please do. Please follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube now. Follow us on Twitter at our Twitter page at it_dammit for when new episodes post. Follow us on Facebook. It's soon to us, damn it. Or sorry, it's soon to us.
Yes.
Because Facebook does not want swearing, I guess. Weird.
Because nobody swears on Facebook.
Exactly. Follow us on Spotify, on Anchor, on SoundCloud, please. You know, and give us a review. Give us comments. Say we suck. Give us something, okay? I want some kind of feedback.
Yeah, you pussies.
Yeah.
Respond to that.
Some of that.
Jeremy,
yeah. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we're gonna have Robert Mitchum play him out. I'm Mo, and I sold my Snake King collection. I'm sorry if you guys wanted it.
And I'm TJ, and thanks for listening, Mr. Lynch.
Thank you. All right, see ya. Bye.
Adios.